What's going on, y'all? It's J Small Reviews here, back at it again with another video. Quick, trying to get a recap out before we get to the riot of RBE Max Out 3. In my personal opinion, the card of the year, the event of the year, a little bit of a different setup. And like I said, trying to crunch a little bit of time here. I got some things I got to do before the riot event starts, but I definitely wanted to get on here and give you guys my recap of what I said as I think the event of the year. I think Max Out 3 was already kind of moving in that direction, energy-wise. I think Blue Room and Pit Style almost always is going to give you better footage than Big Stage. So compared to some of the other bigger events going on right now, I thought that it had the card value to match up. I thought it had the theme and like kind of big matchups, as well as just a lot of matchups, 12 battles, right? And then lastly, like I said, when you combine those things with the small room, with the talent itself, you're able to get just pure battle rap from some of the best in the world without too much getting in the way of it. I thought even though there was going to be a lot about the St. Louis crowd taking over, I thought it was pretty fair for little moments of like maybe some gas or cheering here and there, but that's just energy. That's just in the building energy. I don't even know if you can attribute it to gas. It's just people really wanting to see good battle rap, haymakers across the board moments, and really competitive battles. Some of the more competitive battles that you're going to see this year. And I just think RBE has caught really, really good stride in the Blue Room with the talents they've been booking as well. And then this one, obviously, super St. Louis and Midwest based. You get a fun theme to it. So for a million different reasons, I just think it's been moving in the direction, had the hype of card of the year, and then the result itself also read like that, in my opinion. But we all know how this goes, man. Top three most disappointing, impressive performers. First, I'm going to talk about every battle that's not on there. And to be honest with you, for both the top three most impressive and disappointing, it's all going main card. So we're going to talk undercard. We're going to talk battles from the main card that didn't have going either, that didn't have extremely, there's a lot of competitive battles. So there's a lot to talk about. And then once we're done breaking that down, we'll talk most disappointing and most impressive. So without further ado, let's get right into recapping Max Out 3. So, starting from the bottom of the card, first battle, K Venom versus J Breed. Pretty decent battle. I had K Venom 2-1. Not the craziest, punch for punch. I think K Venom is definitely one of the better up and coming talents the RBE has going. Pretty decent on eye battle from what I've seen from him too. So, just a pretty good talent. I think J Breed's always gatekeeping for the bricks and having serviceable battles. And for the first battle of the night, not mad at it at all. I thought K Venom also wrote uphill, which is always a good thing to see from any talent. Good skill that can, Jesus, hard as hell, man. Good skill that can get you W's going forward. You know what I'm saying? I always think the writing uphill is the best thing to do, especially in a sport where a lot of opponents lose steam. From there, second battle was Excel versus Death the Kid. Thought this was a really, really good battle. Loved what Death did. Thought that he was extremely witty, although he did a lot of X and cell flips. It was some of the better X and cell flips that you're going to hear. And as for Excel, I thought he wrote uphill as well. I thought his second was better than his first. I thought his third was his best round of the battle. You used to running down a motherfucker's spaces. They told me to run down and yell at him in the spaces. I'm from the era where you run down and yell at motherfuckers' faces. I thought that was fire. By the way, while doing this recap, this is a hammock. I got a hammock in my living room. I live a comfortable life. Just for anybody that was wondering, because I'm noticing this popping in there. I'm not going to edit it out. So, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to the hammock. But second battle, right? I thought Excel and Death the Kid was really good. I had Death in the first two rounds, but I know some people got Excel, I think, in the last two rounds. Thought it was a really debatable battle, and for a while it held down the battle of the night chain. From there, you get Zay versus Sino Savvy. Just not the best battle. This is where security went full on, you know what I'm saying, Avenger, full on Hulk. He threw Zay like a weapon. Took Zay, threw Zay into Sino. Hit Zeno like a domino, throw Zeno out of the camera. It was ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? The security was unsecuring. You know what I'm saying? And then that's one of the regulars too. They got some big dudes running security over there at RBE, but clearly was annoyed. It was a lot of pushing and shoving, but you're security. You're supposed to not escalate things or create things. You're supposed to de-escalate things. So just a funny situation all the way around. I had Zay in the first two rounds, but it's not the craziest battle by any means. And then I am forgetting one more brick. Riggs versus J Slash. Riggs just handled J Slash. Really wasn't a good J Slash performance. If there was more expectations, I'd probably put him on most disappointing, truth be told. This man said he had the best delivery in battle rap during the face-offs. I don't know about that one, big dog. I don't. But Riggs just really held it down. I thought he did a lot of spelling out bars. The J, you're sick. It was, you know what I'm saying, a little bit much there. They can get a little bit reachy. But his first round is explosive. You get to the third round, he's got some real talk in there too. I think Riggs is picking up wins against guys that he should, but they're still good quality wins. He could continue to do good over there in the blue room versus a variety of names. So I'd like to see him in rotation. But really clear win over Jay Slash. And that pretty much covers up the undercard. And then we get into QB and RX. Not the best battle, I'm not gonna lie, up until we hit the top four, which is how this card was gonna be built either way. But outside of Excel and the Kid, some of these battles, man, QB and RX, personally had QB winning the battle 1 and 3. But RX's stumbles are really the only thing that stops her from winning. She had better content. This is the same QB you see versus Robin Rhymes and Not Really Caution, where she's in neutral, not a bad performance, but just kind of moving forward serviceably. Like I said, if it wasn't for RX not being clean, probably would have had her winning, but I thought QB cleaned it up just a little bit more polished and got the W. Also, last battle I wanted to talk about real quick that isn't on either list, but is the main event, so I wanted to give it its respect and detail, is Hitman Holla versus Ill Will. Good main event, you know what I'm saying? It went on last night, so the energy's a little bit down for it, but you still get a great Ill Will performance. You still get a great Hitman Holla performance, and to me, you still had one of the better battles of the night. I saw some people didn't like the battle. To me, that was a little bit, I'm not going to say crazy after a long night of battles that can do it to you. I'd say the only thing is Hitman raps extremely long. It feels like he's rapping a lot longer than Will, so that can also kind of, you know, take away from the energy a little bit. You know, it's like, all right, we've watched 11 battles. You know what I'm saying? And it just keeps going and going. So I can see some people getting a little bit frustrated with it. But for me, great. I thought I think every round of the battle is pretty debatable, except the third. You know what? Let me rephrase that a little bit. I think every round of the battle is pretty close because I think they did good every round. But in my opinion, Will clearly took the third round of this battle. I thought Hitman damn near choked. And if nothing else, it was just a lack of kind of energy and just tired after the night, which is understandable, but it did show in the performance for one and not the other. So I thought Will just off of cleanliness, besides the fact that he had a pretty good third, I thought won the third round. For the second, I thought Hitman won the second round. Similar to a battle I just judged in Rock and Av, I think the Hitman rapping longer, although it's a little bit of a cheat code, it just simply did help him, right? To get more material down while still rapping a fire round. And in the second, I think that just caused separation. He had a very long round, but he had a very fire round at that. And then for the first, I think it's a very debatable first. Will was more efficient with his time. Will had higher peaks at that. But on the contrary, I thought Hitman was really good, and this is also the start of his material. He did accolade talk and stat talk all 3 rounds. Really don't have a problem with him doing it, but by the third, I I was tired. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to lie. It was a lot of million view talk, a lot of this and that talk. But I thought the first 2 rounds very fresh. I thought he did it very fresh for pretty much all the battle until we get to the third, right? I get a little bit tired of just the same approach, but this is the first. This is how it starts out. I thought he still started out explosive. I found myself edging Hitman Hollow the first round and giving him the second. So I did have Hitman 2-1, but I feel like you can call this Will 2-1. I feel like you can call this Will Gentleman's. I see some people calling it Hitman Gentleman's. I think it's just that debatable of a battle. There's another battle that was that debatable, but for me, neither of them were on my top 3 performers list, as crazy as that might sound for some people. I think that you could argue it up there, but for me, there was some other battles and people that supersede that, as well as by no means do I think they were any of the most disappointing performers of the night. But without further ado, let's get into the top 3 most disappointing performers in Max Out 3. So as for the most disappointing, and the reason I kind of cut this down all across the board is there's not that really many disappointing battles here, you know what I'm saying, or battlers, even if there's guys that, for the most part, it wasn't lopsided battles, and for the few, you know what I'm saying, what we're going to talk about here. And at number 3, I did have Young Ill. I gotta be honest, I don't know if the expectations were super high for me going into this. Love what Ill does, but especially after the face-off, I was worried about him. And granted, I think in the third, he gets it back a little bit. I think by the time you get to the third round of this battle, it's a pretty decent Young Ill round. So I don't think he went out completely unrespectfully, but just in a card that was really good. Who are the ones that stand out that didn't do the best? And the truth is, Young Ill's first just wasn't, he wasn't even enunciating that great correctly. I think he was wearing grills that fell out. I know they were saying teeth fell out. I think it was just I think he had golds that fell out. But either way, it was a little bit of a bizarre situation for 2 rounds. And then he dominantly loses the first, you know what I'm saying? I thought it's a little bit closer, but he definitely lost the second. I think Big K just kind of puts it, even though he's just talking to his soul directly, man. All that career talk, when you watch it back, it was kind of sad by the second round, and that's why it was really good to see Ill do good in the third, because it gives the battle some life, it gives the battle some joy. You know what I'm saying? We thought that we were gonna watch something the first round 3 times. That would have been sad. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to be sad. I want to be happy when I watch an event. So just at the end of the day, when you lose probably the most dominantly of anyone on the card, or one of the most dominantly, I think Jay Slash might have lost the most dominantly, but when you lose very dominantly like that, you got to make it. Thought Ill had a pretty good third, but I just think Ill didn't do enough to win the battle, which is why he makes top 3 most disappointing performers. And as for the number 1 and 2 most disappointing performers, something that we're going to do here in the most impressive slots as well, we're just going to choose a battle to take up 1 and 2. And that would be Head Ice versus Show Off. This was a strange battle. This was a bizarre battle. Head Ice had extremely long rounds. I thought he was extremely beatable. He was rapping, going full Head Ice mode. He was saying things that didn't make sense. He was saying things that were just borderline, like pause, like what's going on, Head Ice. Really, they rehashed the whole KG and Nitty bar that he had. And he doubled down on it. It's like I can't really quote some of these bars and feel comfortable. But why Show Off has to make it is I think the door was really open. You could have either of these guys at 1 and 2, but I think the door was really open for Show Off to win this battle, just very clear and get through. And I thought it was a really rough Show Off. I thought it was Show Off's roughest Blue Room performance. He said, "Big gun, never been seen before, like the letter 4." I've never seen it, you know what I'm saying? So I guess that's factual, but just overall, just strange. You know what I'm saying? Not the best writing, not the best pacing, long rounds, worthwhile pauses. Just really bizarre all the way around, and really on a card that has nothing but the most part for good back and forth battles. This is the one battle that is debatable for all the wrong reasons. There's just not a lot to judge on. Personally, I had Show Off taken at 3-0 gentlemen's. But there was nothing gentleman-like about either side of this battle, in my opinion. It's the only battle on this card that you could, some of the other card joints, but this was pretty bad on a card that was pretty amazing. So in my opinion, really the only thing that stands out is the most disappointing. And then from there, we can get to really praising all of the great performers. We're only going to pick 3, but a lot of great performers to praise as we go to the top 3 most impressive performers of the card. So right before getting into my top 3 most impressive performers slot, the one thing I did want to mention last is the surprise battle, Magic and Arsenal. Just really, really good in my opinion. Extremely debatable. So one I want to get to rewatch too, because it actually wasn't that long of a rewatch. But Magic and Ars was the surprise battle, kind of filling out that last St. Louis slot. I thought the first round of this battle, Ars won really, really clear. I don't think there's anything to debate about the first round of this battle. I was actually shocked too that Magic had an extremely short round, like a 90-second round, and Ars was good, because that's what Ars randomly does, is just randomly rap really, really good after just not rapping good for a while. Thought it was really tailored to Ars, really good. Thought it was a really good B Magic as we went on. The second and the third of this battle is fire. It makes it a fire battle. You get great B Magic material. You get great Ars material. It's just like it's turning the clock back to 2 top tiers that have been kind of past their prime, battling like they're just in the middle of it. So the second and the third for me is extremely debatable. So I had Ars clear in the first. I edged Ars in the second, or I edged Magic in the second. I edged Ars in the third. I could see Magic 2-1 for the second and third, and I might even give it to him back on the replay. But overall, really, really good surprise battle. Just a really, really good battle all the way around. And although it doesn't make my most impressive performers, I just wanted to show it some love because both of those gentlemen did really, really good. But then going into, like I said, top 3 most impressive performers, and for 2 of these slots, they're just going to be battles because it was competitive battles, and it's really hard for me to sit here and pick when your battles are that competitive and both get a stock rise. And at number 3, I do have Calico versus Goods. A battle, I hated on it, guys. I did not want this battle. I did not like the matchup. I did not like what they could talk to each other about. I thought there was better matchups for both, and I gotta say, it was a really good battle. It was a really good battle. From first round, one of the biggest things that people are going to talk about is Calico's white pops angle when it's not true, and even Good said it's not a true angle. And it's one of those things. We're in the first. He starts it out. Well, Goods has his first, which in my opinion is the weakest round of this battle. That's why I shot right to what Cal said. I didn't really like Goods' first that much. So Cal starts landing the angle. And I think Goods said that he gives it points, although it's a fake angle because it was executed so well. And people are going to be 50-50 on that. And I just want to say this. I liked it, you know what I'm saying, even though it is fake. I'm not mad at anyone that discounts it, even though, Goods, himself, the opponent, did discount it. But it's kind of crazy to make up a fake angle. But I think even without that, Cal won the round for the rest. The Jordan pool, you know what I'm saying? I thought they had a couple haymakers, and he was just rapping better with more energy in the first. Kind of snatched the first no matter what, but the second and the third, particularly the seconds, what the battle comes down to. Goods clearly got the third. Amazing Goods third. He talked money, but he did it creatively, and I really appreciate that, because that's what I said. Is I was like, I think there's nothing wrong with money talk, but there just has to be some spin of creativity to it. Just don't do it the same exact way you've been doing it. I don't think he did. I think he put a little bit of more energy, a little bit more aggression to it, and wordplay leads to a great third. And the second is just 50-50 debatable. Just an extremely, extremely debatable battle that exceeded expectations for me. It was one of the better battles of the night, and for me, you got to give both gentlemen credit. I personally gave it to Cal. I had Cal in the first clear and Cal edging the second. You can have good second and third just as well, and a really good battle that for me has to be mentioned when we talk about the top three better battles that happens of the night. And that leaves us with the final two performances I want to talk about. Secondly, is another battle that really stands out. A lot of people calling it classic off first watch, and that is the grudge match of A Verb and A Ward. Another one that I couldn't pick because it is just that debatable. It's 50-50 everywhere you look. Really, all these battles were Cal and Goods 50-50, A Ward and Verb 50-50, Hitman Hollow and Will 50-50. It's just a night of extremely competitive, extremely great battles. And as for Ward and Verb, it is the best of the bunch. It was the battle of the night. You get one of the best Verb we've seen in years, man. And this isn't even one of those Verbs where I think he's just good and he's competitive enough. Nah, I think Verb genuinely might have won this battle. You know what I'm saying? It is an extremely debatable battle, and there's reason it's 50-50. From the first round, Verb's first, dope. Fire. Love the Crown Vic bar. Love that Crown Vic flip into the Showtime, which was explosive. So he's room shaking. Then you get Ward, turn the Glock 40 on your bitch ass. It's going to be an all-time RBE moment. There's a reason they were chanting RBE when it happened. From there, the spaces, mutiny rebuttal mid-round. I mean, they're dropping bombs and just all-time quotables back to back, you know what I'm saying, in both their first. Personally had Ward edging the first round of the battle, but I think it was really just amazing from both. You get into the second. Verb doesn't take his foot off the pedal, man. I thought Verb angling. I thought he's getting into a lot of, still getting into, I got a fly getting around here. Sorry if you see me waving hands, right? So in the second, you got Verb, doesn't take his foot off the pedal. He's doing a little bit of the race talk, which is still rapping extremely well. Never a question with Verb. And I liked Ward's second as well, but I edged Verb the second round. So I have it 1-1. I have Verb extremely competitive in this battle too, going into the third. And I will say, the third is a dip from both. For me, it might be why I not call it a classic off first watch, is because it just isn't 6 rounds of great. I think both of them dip in the third. Verb's third is very short compared to his other rounds. Not even that bad content-wise, but like a 2-minute round. And then Ward's third, I didn't like his opening angle. I think his round got a little bit better as he went, but the Verb's mom and court angle, not a fan of that one whatsoever. You know what I'm saying? Fake angle or not fake angle, I just don't think he executed it well. But I personally, it's 50-50. I edged Ward the third because I thought it was a little bit more complete. But anyone giving Verb the second and third, in my opinion, and really the first, I think every round of this battle is debatable. So anyone that has Verb winning, completely get it. I love this Verb performance. You know what I'm saying? One of the best Verb performances I've seen in quite some time. And as for A Ward, I think he really answered the call and had one of his better performances in the biggest battle of his career. So you have people calling it a classic. That's a stock riser for both at the end of the day. It's going to do a lot for them. And I think the mission was accomplished all the way around. Promoted well, battle went amazing, and then even showed each other respect at the end. It's hard for me to pick. I had A Ward 2-1 first and third, but might even changed up on rewatch. Who knows, man? It's that close of a battle, and wanted to give a shout out to both gentlemen for holding it down. Grudge matches historically are lopsided, so to get a great battle just shows how locked in both of them were. And that leaves me with my performance of the night pick, which is Big K. His first round, man, is probably the best round of this event. Just talking to Young Yo, ridiculous in the first, and even in the second and the third, that is a bit of a step down for his standards this year. There's still great rounds where he's talking directly to Ill. I had him clearly winning all 3 rounds of the battle and continuing this incredible campaign that he has had in 2023. Just dominant victories. Even if it's versus legends that he should beat, that might be a little bit, you know what I'm saying, washed or rusty, haven't battled in a minute. They're just so dominant. The material is so tailor-made. And to me, Big K is rapping maybe the most exciting material in battle rap. That's just how explosive some of this angle punching and talk to him stuff is. For me, I think Ward and Verb, if you want to say that battle as a whole gets performance of the night, not mad at that, but I think in one individual performance, no one checked all the boxes like Big K did at Max Out 3. And that is my full recap here for Max Out 3. Top three most impressive and top three most disappointing. Really emphasis on the impressive, though. You have so many good performances. Ars versus Verb's a fire, or Ars versus Magic is a fire battle. Ward versus Verb might be a classic to a lot of people. That was a fire battle. Hitman and Will, fire battle. Calico and Goods, fire battle. Big Case performance versus Young Ill, and even Young Ill third, he kind of has a little bit of life, but that was a fire performance. You go to the undercard, Death the Kid versus Excel, fire battle, Riggs, fire performance. Even the two under main card battles with QB and RX and Show Off and Head Ice weren't the best, but it was still so much more good than bad to talk about. Really, really great event from RBE. You could debate they have the three best events of the year in 2023. I think that's something extremely, extremely commendable. I know people are so, it's better than SM, and it's better than SM. Yeah, it is better than SM, but let's not focus on all that. Let's focus on just it being a great event all the way around. What I'm seeing from RBE is it's just fantastic. Divide and Conquer 1 and Divide and Conquer 2 was amazing. This is amazing. Hope they get one more great event out. If the Blue Room has to take a break, we'll see what they can do. I think the Blue Room has just been so good. Those volume battles, Blue Room battles, the bunker, no matter what it is, when Avo's shooting pit-style battle rap, you're going to get one of the better runs in battle rap for a minute. But you guys let me know in the comments down below, what were your biggest takeaways from Max Out 3? A lot of guys that had double stock rises because of great battles. So let me know, who do you think had the biggest stock rise from last night? Who do you think benefits the most from this event? And we got the riot today, so get at me on Twitter in the description, covering all live updates of what's going to be going on with the riot. Might miss maybe first half of the undercard. A lot of us, might for the most part, but definitely be locked in for those top three battles and some of those higher undercard battles. But it's been J Smo Reviews again, y'all. Like, comment, subscribe. I'm going to catch you on the next one, man. Peace.